Purr for the family, purr. Let the internet hear you purr. She's so cute. This is Zelda, if you haven't met her yet. She might be in some of my future videos. Actually, yes, she will be in a lot of my future videos because she really enjoys spending time in here. When I think about phones in 2025 that would perfectly fit into my very weird content creation lifestyle, I did not think that a flip phone would be on that list, but the Motorola Razr Ultra 2025 totally fits into that niche so well that I'm actually considering going out and buying one after I send this review unit back. And huge thank you to Motorola for sending out the review device, by the way. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, probably every brand ever, but you can absolutely make a pink phone and make it premium. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk, okay? What's up, s'mores? I'm Shannon Morse. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the Motorola Razr Ultra 2025, and it is, well, it's a flip phone with a very nice foldable screen and a sweet cover display, and it's packing a stylish look with a lot of premium features at a reasonable but premium price. The Motorola Razr Ultra starts at $1299.99 for the 512 gig version, and up to 1 terabyte models are currently on sale at the same price at time of recording. Now, Motorola actually partnered with Pantone. That's my cat's tail, in case you saw that in the corner of the frame. Hi, baby. There are 4 different gorgeous colors to choose from. There are Pantone Scarab, Mountain Trail, Rio Red, and this one, which is called Cabaret. Now, similar to the regular model that I also just reviewed, I'll put a little card up here somewhere so you can find that video if you want to watch that one afterwards. These colorways also have slightly different textures depending on which one you get. Also, the materials are different. Like, there's a wood version, there's a leather-like satin finish, and there's also a soft touch Alcantara on the Scarab version. Now, this one is called the Cabaret colorway, and this is a satin-like finish, which honestly, my spicy brain is really appreciating the texture and that soft feel. It's very calming for me, so I really like it. I love that textured feel. It's so nice. I also noticed when I was using this out and about that it gives you more of a grippy texture, so it doesn't feel slippery whenever you're holding it in your hand. So I would say you don't necessarily need to put a case on here if you feel comfortable holding this in hand with that texture. Now, if you're finding this video very helpful, a subscribe would mean so much to me. Subscribing is a very simple way of showing me which videos you find helpful and valuable, and it tells me which direction I should take my channel in. Also, a big Patreon shout out to Matt Will Go and Zachary C. You can join them and support my channel by going to patreon.com/Shannon Morse for perks like early video access and my private Discord. I actually post all the early access videos in the Discord before I even post them anywhere else, so that is the best way to get access to them first. As usual, all the videos on my channel are free to watch, and I thank my YouTube members and my patrons, my s'mores, for making that possible. Now, moving on, the pink colored hinge is this really nice titanium reinforced finish. It is fully covered whenever you open it, and it has that nice smooth open and close with a very subtle snap that pops it into place. I really like that sound that it makes too whenever you close it. Oh, so satisfying. And Motorola's got that flip totally down. Like, they have perfected just flipping your phone open. It's the coolest thing. Which, no surprise, Motorola's been around for decades. They've always made us really cool flip phones, even when I was like in high school.
84 years.
A long time ago. Just now, we have these really interesting screens. So this phone is also IP48 rated, so it can survive a really quick dip if you do take it into like water or if it's raining outside, but I would say nothing more. Phones with bendy screens like this are going to be inherently more fragile than candy bar style phones, so I would still recommend being careful with your phone. It weighs in at 199 grams, so pretty lightweight, and it's also pretty thin. This is 7.29 millimeters thin whenever it's opened. That goes up to 15.9 millimeters thin whenever it's closed. It's definitely small enough to fit into your pocket. It has a very durable design. For example, I put this thing in my purse with like three other phones when I went to the baseball game a couple of weeks ago, and I was testing all the camera features and everything. And the outer display, even though it was rubbing up against a bunch of other phones, it did not get scratched, which I think is a pretty great example. Now, I do want to touch base on this external display. It is a 4-inch display, fully 4 inches, a POLED design, and it's 417 pixels per inch, up to 106 465 Hz refresh rate. And it's also 3000 nits peak brightness. It gets really bright. Now, the cool thing about Motorola's foldables, their flippy phones, is that you can actually use full apps on the front display, on the cover display, which is honestly a killer feature for quick productivity tasks without opening your entire phone. So for example, I can open Gmail on here, I can check my full email inbox, I can open Maps to its full potential. I can pop open my Buffalo Wild Wings app and I can make an order straight from the cover display. It's a pretty large cover display too, with just a couple of cutouts for the cameras down at the bottom. There's also that teeny tiny one for the LED, but you know, is tiny. So I feel like it gives you a much better experience and it feels a lot more intuitive. Now you flip this thing open and you have this really nice big 7-inch Super HD AMOLED display, and this is 464 pixels per inch. This one does match that 165 Hz refresh rate that you get on the front, but it exceeds the brightness. This one is 4500 nits peak brightness. You can kind of see it here, but the edges, the bezels, are slightly raised around the screen. But I think this is a good thing to help protect your folding display. The crease is also not very prominent, it's barely visible. It's very smooth, it's barely there. I almost forgot that it was a folding phone a few times because there's almost no crease to be seen or felt. It's so smooth. I also love this Pantone collab, and it's offering these phones with a more authentic and accurate color gamut, which is really important for content creation. So I would say with both displays, I had zero problems seeing them in bright outdoor sunlight settings, and they are also very vibrant and very clear. The aspect ratio is really wide, and watching videos on here is quite beautiful as long as you're okay with those black bars on the sides. The speakers are also pretty nice for a flippy phone. They are not too bad at all. There are lots of customizations to be had with Android 15 on both displays, not just the inner one. There are built-in themes and widgets for your apps that you can use on both screens, along with AI-generated wallpapers, dynamic themes. This is a dynamic theme, for example, and lots of color customizations. Now, one of the unique things to Moto Razr lineups is this tent mode and a desk stand display, which can show you text and pictures or a clock while the phone is locked and it's in that tent or display desk mode. I will discuss more on the operating system and the performance in a little bit, but I did want to touch base on the cameras too. Okay, on the rear or the cover display, we have two lenses right here. One is a main 50 megapixel f1.8 aperture lens, also equating to 12.6 megapixel quad pixel technology. Then we have another 50 megapixel f2.0 aperture secondary ultra wide lens with macro capabilities. And that also has the same quad pixel technology happening there. That field of view is going to be 122 degrees. Now that main sensor gave me some pretty lovely HDR, rich and contrasty and saturated photos. They look lovely in sunlight and regular lighting settings, and some really great range at night or during sunset as well. I really like the color profile of these photos from Coors Field specifically because they give a really good balance between darker and lighter parts of the image. Plus there's still tons of detail captured within the audience way over on the other side of the ball field. I was also able to capture some really great blue hues from these pictures in Cabo when I was hanging out in a pool, and my interior shots were very well balanced, though I did find the reds to be a little bit more saturated in some of these photos. The 2x quality also looks very clean too, though anything higher than that for zoom will start introducing some noise, but still, these are pretty great zoom quality photos. And I did want to mention for the zoom, you can go all the way up to 30 times zoom and you still get a pretty good photo. The camera app also has this very nice little preview monitor down here so you can see the full image, not just the zoomed in part, so you know where exactly in the picture you're zooming in on. It makes it a little bit easier to find your subject. Now, using the ultra wide for some macro shots gave me some pretty crispy details with very accurate colors and a nice natural looking aperture too, a nice flow of that blur. The portrait mode is obviously kind of computational around the edges here, so I still prefer the natural f-stop that you get from using those lenses in normal mode. mode, that natural aperture. Selfies were also really great here. Now turning it around, we also have that internal lens, which is great if you're doing like webcam or you're doing a live video with somebody. This is a 50 megapixel selfie front-facing camera, and it's also an f2.0 aperture. I also took a few selfies with this lens, and overall I thought it was pretty impressive. It certainly helps to have a higher spec selfie camera here, though you will likely just use the external cameras a lot more. This is pretty cool too. You can record up to 8K 30p, and here are some example videos I did.
Let's go with C.
We're going with C.
He goes it's like $20.
Alright. R for Rockies. Let's hit that 150. Bring us some good luck.
4K 60, wow.
Or walk away at $35.
This is fun. This is a video using the selfie camera on the folding screen. Oh my god, there's Velcro stuck on my pants. What's up, girl? I know you like the hair. Are you sleepy? I think she's sleepy. Hello, baby. All right, how does it sound? Let me know down below. Oh, that was a cat toy. There are cat toys all over my studio right now. Now, I mentioned this in my last Moto Razr review, but I just love this camcorder mode. It is really cool that you can have a preview monitor on the cover display while you were recording. It's very much like using a vintage camcorder. It's very nostalgic and really fun, and all of my friends really enjoyed using this phone in this way. So I let everybody kind of demo it and have some fun with it. Hello. Now, in terms of performance, this is a very snappy phone. The Snapdragon 8 Elite is in here, and this is actually the first flippy phone to include that chipset. Plus, it has 16 gigs of RAM, which makes it very responsive. It's also very fast when it comes to switching tasks and downloading big games, loading apps, and even taking photos. It's very quick. I really enjoyed gaming on this device. I was playing Genshin Impact at really high settings with no lag or glitches. And my 3D Mark scores were overall very impressive. The phone did get very hot in the area of the cover display during a stress test though, and it did warn me that it was overheating. Now this happened more than once too. While I was doing a Wildlife Extreme stress test after a good 10 minutes, the regular test though went totally fine. The 4700 milliampere hour battery is large, and it definitely helps this phone get through a whole day of work. It also includes super fast 68-watt wired charging, which equates to about 40 minutes for a full charge. It also has 30 watts of wireless Qi charging, yay, which is awesome and very rare to find in our US market. I did get a good 12 hours of screen on time out of it, and that's kind of my average, using it for games, lots of YouTube video streams, and some general testing, some maps, email, social media, and browsing, kind of a daily use case scenario. AI feels really well integrated into this phone. Motorola uses Perplexity and Gemini, as well as their own Moto AI, which gives you access to an app that has image generation, a little studio in there. There's a music playlist tool, which only works with Amazon Music, which I don't have, so I wasn't able to test that, plus some additional features like pay attention, remember this, and catch me up. There's even this really cool AI button over on the left side. When you hold it down, you can open up Moto AI. You can also open it via a double tap on the back of the phone. Although for me, half the time I double clicked, it did not actually open it, so I find that to be a little bit finicky. You can also activate Look and Talk, which opens Moto AI whenever you look at the main cover display. I actually found it works best if I kind of wave at it and just be like, hey, I'm paying attention to you right now. And that can work in both tent and desk display modes. Now, with the Motorola Razr Ultra 2025, you get 3 years of operating system upgrades and 4 years of security updates, which is not as long as competitors. The face unlock is very quick, and the fingerprint sensor, which is built into the power button, is quite reliable for unlocks. Wi-Fi speeds are super zippy on my Wi-Fi 7 network, and I had no issues with call quality or connections via Bluetooth. So given that this is a $1,300 phone, I think that Motorola is packing a pretty spectacular device that blends some really interesting and unique design choices with some very excellent spec. The great battery life, the zippy charging is awesome, the great cameras and performance are something that I don't always necessarily see in flip phones, and highly customizable outer color displays are big for me. I would just love to see longer support timelines, and that overheating when I was stress testing was a thing. In general, I was really excited about trying this phone. I buy premium phones for my own daily drivers, and this is as close to my preferences as I have seen in a flip phone so far. But I would love to know what you think, so comment down below and let me know if you want me to also review the Plus version of this phone too. I can get in touch with Motorola and see if they can send one out for review. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.